GITEX, the tech revolution, and DXB Today. Thanks so much for joining us and welcome back. Now with us now is Suneel Gokhale from the founding partner of VentureSouq, which backs up startups in fintech, digital health, future of work, and climate tech. Welcome, Suneel. Thanks so much. You're a busy man right now.
A little bit.
The fact that you made time for us,
of
we
course.
appreciate
Of course.
it.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, tell us about what you do. Tell us about VentureSouq, and just to start off, to introduce to all the viewers.
Sure, absolutely. So VentureSouq is a MENA-based venture capital manager. We've been investing for about 10 years. We started investing globally, and then when activity started to kind of pick up here in the region, we started to invest and look more inward into what was being built here and in our backyards. And so we've now shifted to becoming a thematic fund manager, focused on key themes like fintech, and which is what we started with, and now moving to climate and looking at others.
So really, when you come to GITEX, you're just shopping. You're like, oh,
basically.
Who wants to impress me here? What are you looking for?
Well, it's the event that catalyzes the startup ecosystem. It gets things going after everyone kind of comes back from summer, and it's not just what happens that week. If you see the follow-on or the knock-on effect of the events and kind of the connectivity, following GITEX is incredible. So it's certainly penciled in our calendars for sure.
And as we were just talking backstage, I think we're celebrating our 10th, 11th birthday together. So if we rewind to 2015, it was a very nascent startup ecosystem here. I know it's a big question, but what's that kind of arc look like over the last 10 years, and what are you looking for over the next maybe 5 to 10 years here in the region?
Sure, absolutely. 2015 was very much about capital from here being deployed into other markets, more advanced VC ecosystems like the US and Silicon Valley, Europe, Asia. But over the years now, what we've seen is things being built here in the region, and we can there's a ton of reasons for that, but Dubai has now become and continues to be an amazing place to live, which attracts founders, which as founders come here, smart people build things, and then that results in capital density, and so the ecosystem has really taken off here to a place that it really wasn't 10 years ago.
I mean, it brings together founders and investors, and I know you mentioned briefly that investors are most interested in fintech right now and AI, but can you get more specific? What are the things that investors are really looking at in both of those fintech and AI worlds?
Yeah, for us, it starts with the founding team, and so that hasn't changed very much. We're still looking for founders who are incredibly intelligent, gritty, resilient, have complete clarity of purpose in terms of what they're building. But obviously now, with the advance of AI over the last 3 or 4 years, we are now looking for founders that are thoughtful and have kind of deep expertise in AI, so that they can build AI native companies that are built using AI from the ground up, as opposed to bolt-on features.
When we're talking about AI, investors are now shifting to focus more on AI products. Is that what's the hype about it versus the fundability of it?
Yeah, so for us, we actually look for fintech businesses, and then as we advance, looking at climate, but looking for businesses, as I mentioned, that are AI native. So businesses that are being built from the ground up with real AI infrastructure that are solving still everyday problems when it comes to financial institutions here in the region. So credit scoring, using AI to build better PFM, wealth management apps, property and real estate tech, and all the things we were solving for, and we still think there's a ton of runway in MENA just using AI to make those businesses move faster.
So GITEX Week, as one of the top tier funds here in the region, we're keeping VentureSouq very, very busy. Maybe take this opportunity to give some advice to a UAE founder. How should they be using the next few days of GITEX to their advantage when it's putting their product or pitching in front of investors?
Yes, absolutely. So I think founders, not just at GITEX, but generally when they're pitching, but specifically because it's such a dense and kind of eventful week, particularly for founders as they look to meet investors from everywhere, not just us here in the UAE and the broader region, is know your now. What are you solving for now? Things are moving so quickly, so make sure you can explain what the problem you're solving and why it matters now. Be authentic, understand and be able to explain where that capital is going to go. The thing that we hate to hear is sometimes a founder saying they're going to raise X amount of dollars and they have no idea what they're going to use it for. There's no clarity there, and really explain, particularly now with everything that's happening around AI, how AI is going to be used from the beginning to deliver that product or service.
Now, when it comes to startups, especially when it comes to tech, people always think Silicon Valley. They think Singapore, Taiwan, Japan. I want to know where we're at, Dubai, in terms of the global
great question.
idea of global tech startups specifically.
Great question. So look, Silicon Valley is still the North Star, no pun intended, in terms of kind of talent density, in terms of capital. That ecosystem is still kind of what everyone's aspiring to. But when we start with MENA, MENA founders are catching up. You've got the same level. You've got very, very intelligent founders here that are gritty, resilient, all the things we talked about. They're mobile native here. They have been for a long time. Young young population, and you've got talent everywhere in here and in the broader region. And so I certainly think that MENA can compete. Obviously, you have other markets as well. You've got London, which is obviously a top tier financial center, but probably more on the legacy side. I think from an agility and a regulatory responsiveness perspective, I think you certainly have, Dubai has an edge there. When it comes to Singapore, obviously, it's something, there's a lot of similarities between Singapore and Dubai. You've got roughly similar populations. You've got great infrastructure, good regulatory environment, good tax, all those things. I think the big difference is that Singapore, from a business corridor perspective, tends to focus kind of east to east. And so it's very, very focused around China, which has benefited it and China, for a number of years. I think from Dubai, you can go east. There's massive business flow happening between Asia and this part of the world already, but you can also go west. I think Dubai's geography from a strategy perspective is incredible. There's all these markets in top tier emerging economies that are 4 to 8 hours away.
Amazing. And from what we've been talking about, all the new innovations coming to the country as a whole, I think this is just the beginning. Suneel, we hope to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us on this very, very busy week.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
But for right now, it's almost time for us to say goodbye to Peter, but not before DX being 60, right, Mirtha?
That's right, Faris. So Peter, I have several questions for you, and you have to answer as much as possible in 60 seconds. But it's all about you, so don't worry about it. Are you ready?
I guess so, yeah.
Let's put the clock on in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What was your first job?
It's been so long ago.
My first job was actually at a golfing range. I was driving the car, collecting the golf balls, and everyone fires the golf club at you, the balls at you as hard as possible.
Nice. Best advice you have ever heard?
If you make a mistake once, that's okay. If you make a mistake twice, then it's your fault. Look deep in yourself and make sure you fix it.
And if you could have an AI assistant, what task would you want it to handle?
Oh, that's fantastic. Booking all my flights to the international GITEX shows as we're ramping up next year and going to even more countries.
Of course. If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
These are great questions. I'm going to go on my personal football slant. There's a football manager called Brian Clough, who I would love to have a dinner with.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. That's time's up. And
yeah, thank you so much for an excellent guest co-host. You could see he was sweating there. He's like, ask me about GITEX. That's the easy part. Don't ask me the personal questions.
And then at the end it was like football.
Yeah.
Suneel, Peter, both gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today. It has been amazing having you, and we'll bump into you at GITEX over the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
As for all of you watching at home, stay tuned. We've got an amazing performance by saxophonist Christian coming right on up. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Christian Satz, a saxophonist from Colombia. My style of music is smooth jazz, funky. I love to play always house music, Afro house. I think saxophone was made for that, groove, good rhythms, so that's my style. I found the saxophone is very special instrument for me because throughout my life was helping me a lot to express my emotions, connect with people, and do other listening beautiful sound. Watch me performance playing my groove and stick around at the end of the show.